A Storm Track 9 weather alert from News 9 WAOW.
Well, we do want to begin and check in with Jackson because we had some flurries earlier today, but more winter weather is coming our way.
Yeah, just a thin band of snowfall came through the area earlier, but that is not what we're going to expect for overnight conditions. Overnight, quite a bit of snowfall is in the forecast. For our winter weather advisories, we only have a few here: Jackson County, Adams, Juneau, and Waushara counties, but pretty much everywhere in the state will be getting some snowfall coming tonight into tomorrow. As far as what we're looking at our satellite and radar picture, you can still see some flurries up into the far northwest or northeast, but you can see that system as well is propagating, and it's quite large. Look at that moisture system making its way from the southwest, and that's going to be pushing through Illinois into Indiana, into Ohio. However, we are going to get quite a bit of the effects from the northern edge of this system, likely accumulating some snowfall tonight into tomorrow morning, expecting 1 to 3 inches in the central regions, but there will be a lot more down south. I'll have full details about that in just a second. However, let's take a look at also what we're looking at for wind speeds. Well, it was quite the blustery day today. We've looked at anywhere from 15 to 25 miles an hour wind conditions. That's going to continue. I'll have the full details on when it's going to calm down a little bit, but snow showers are going to kick up a bit coming up in the full forecast.
New developments in that hours-long standoff in Stevens Point overnight. A 55-year-old man was taken into custody early this morning. Around 7 p.m. last night, police say a caller reported a dispute between two men and says they heard gunshots, but no one was hurt. The suspect allegedly barricaded himself into an apartment and reportedly threatened police would have to shoot him. Police eventually entered the apartment around 3 a.m. and took the man into custody. They say they did find a gun inside. Today marks exactly 1 year since UW Health in Madison saw their very first COVID-19 patient in their emergency room. Back then, testing a person for COVID-19 meant sending all lab samples to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Georgia. On February 5th, positive test results came back confirming COVID-19 had reached Wisconsin. It was the first case in the state and only the 12th confirmed case in the country at that time. Now, UW doctors are sharing their thoughts on what it was like during the first days and weeks and what they've learned over the past 12 months.
And you don't know whether something is going to become a big deal or not. You kind of have to prepare as though it will be. And if in the end it turns out that you didn't need as much preparation as you did, well, it'll come in handy the next time. So we didn't know if this was going to be, a little bit of a blip or if this was really going to be a pandemic. And so we assumed that it was going to be the worst case scenario and prepared accordingly. And of course, in hindsight, looking back, that was the right thing to do.
941 patients have been hospitalized with COVID-19 at UW Health. Today, the state has surpassed 540,000 cases. 95% of those people have recovered. More than 5,800 people have died with COVID-19 in Wisconsin. As for vaccinations, 476,000 shots have been given in the state, with 35,000 of those in north central Wisconsin. And 90,000 Wisconsinites are fully vaccinated. 846,000 doses have been allocated to the state. The state is considering other uses for the COVID field hospital at the State Fair Park Expo Center. The facility hasn't had a current COVID patient since December 24th. Health officials were asked if it will be used as a vaccination hub down the road.
It's that great balancing act about you don't want to close it too early in case we would see additional surges in disease related to the variants or other causes, but you also can't keep it open forever. So we are actively in evaluation of those items and considering other uses for State Fair Park as we move forward.
The facility is also being used as an outpatient clinic for patients receiving antibody infusion therapy. A new federal mandate will require people to wear masks while using any form of public transportation. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued the order. It goes into effect Monday night. This includes buses, trains, taxis, airplanes, boats, subways, or rideshare vehicles. Children under 2 and people with a disability who cannot wear a mask are exempt. The annual gun show is in town this weekend, and News 9's Natalie Sapila is taking a closer look at some of the gun and ammo shortages. She joins us live from the newsroom with more.
Victoria, it's an unprecedented time for gun owners and sellers right now. They tell me sales have skyrocketed in the last year, leading to some shortages. A busy day for vendors at Saturday's gun show. Buyers packed the Central Wisconsin Convention and Expo Center.
And it's not all just guns, as you can see, it's a lot of other stuff.
But guns were the hot ticket item this weekend, with vendors reporting supplies flying off the shelves almost as fast as they can stock them.
Just crazy amount of sales going on since we started having shows again.
In the past year, many vendors also reporting seeing a lot of new customers too.
There's panic buying. We've been selling to people that never owned guns before.
That panic leading to shortages in things like parts and ammunition. Vendors tell me ammo prices are through the roof due to low supply.
And I know my suppliers they're all working overtime, they've expanded production, but demand is just that high that as soon as they do produce something, it's gone.
They say the current political climate could be contributing to the rush. And for now, they say it appears there's no end in sight.
It's going to be great for me. I mean, as long as I can get parts and keep product in supply.
But if sales trends continue this year, some vendors worry keeping up supply might be hard to do.
They're all going to stop pretty soon because we're not going to be able to get stuff. The supply is going to quit, on some things.
The gun show continues at the Convention and Expo Center tomorrow. Live in the newsroom, I'm Natalie Sapila, News 9 WAOW.
Thanks, Natalie. Dole has issued a voluntary recall of its Endless Summer Salad Kit because it's not labeled properly for allergens. People with allergies to eggs or fish could be exposed in a batch sold to 17 states, many in the West and Midwest. Dole says the salad dressing and the topping kit was accidentally swapped in the production process. No illnesses or allergic reactions were reported before the recall. The packages all have a best if used by date of January 26th. From online classes to virtual playdates, kids are more glued to their screens now more than ever. And health experts say that extra screen time can have negative effects. A UW-Eau Claire psychology professor says overuse of technology could impact social skills for children and to make them more irritable and uncooperative. But screen use has been on the rise for a while. According to a study, children now watch twice as many online videos daily compared to 4 years ago.
Too much time engaged with technology can impact behavior in general. I think kids tend to get moodier. They're a little more overreactive sometimes the longer they engage in technology and sort of not come back to their friends and family.
He suggests connecting kids with music, sports, or volunteer work during the pandemic. Area artists and vendors gathered for a craft show today. More than 30 vendors gathered inside Cedar Creek Mall. Homemade items like soap, jewelry, clothing, and other artwork were all up for sale. One vendor says it's a good opportunity for local business owners to showcase their work, especially during the pandemic.
Well, it's a nice thing to see. I mean, a lot of the small vendors, local people and stuff like that out here and still trying to get their products out. And people are still trying to do their thing.
The show ended at 4 p.m. this afternoon, but there will be another show in February. Coming up, a mother's pain after losing her baby, but what one funeral home did that made things so much worse for her family, and how they're trying to make it up to the grieving mother. That story next.